Alaskan Summer, where another aviator, celebrity John Denver, seeks adventure by taking lessons in a float plane. Coming up on Hillary's Adventurers.
Students make a pilgrimage.
You need a special rating to fly a plane like this. In the next story, John Denver tries his hand at something similar. He's already licensed to fly his own private jet, but it's been his dream for years to explore Alaska in a float plane.
The bush pilots of Alaska have become the heroes of this untamed land, renowned for their ability to land a plane almost anywhere. So it's here that celebrity singer John Denver comes to learn to fly a float plane. John must learn to land a plane on the most unstable of surfaces, water. He'll have 3 days training before being examined by an officer from Federal Aviation. John observes his teacher arrive for the first lesson, making it all look so easy. Kitty Banner, one of the most skilled bush pilots in Alaska, will tutor Denver over the next 3 days.
Everything I see in Alaska makes me like it better.
And your airspeed, and that simulates getting out of a short lake where you don't have all the usable, and you have to actually start at one point, make a 180-degree turn, and if you have a crosswind coming in and you lift that wing, you're real vulnerable.
But you don't necessarily want to get in the habit of lifting that one wing on takeoff.
When you're coming into a glassy water situation is what we talked about, that gradual rate of descent and getting your sink rate down in a float plane, not more than 150 feet per minute, and coming in on the slot so that objects above the firewall appear to get larger as opposed to moving up and down. Mixture rich.
Full in.
Mags on both.
Both.
And just a crack, not even a quarter.
Okay.
All right? Okay, stick back.
The theory's important, but nothing's going to equal that first takeoff. John's experience in taking off from solid tarmac will be of little use in this situation. The movement of the water and the unpredictable crosswinds make every takeoff different. Reflexes have to be razor sharp. A float plane moves on water the way a speedboat does. It taxis off, and then as speed builds, the plane floats on the surface. Every step in the takeoff is vital. He's up. Next time, John will be on his own. The next lesson is all about landing. It's not just high winds and rough water that cause problems for float plane pilots. When a lake surface is this still, a pilot can't tell whether it's the bottom of the lake or the surface of the water he's seeing. Perception of depth is totally lost. Misjudging could cause the plane to cartwheel. John's overshot the targeted landing area, but Kitty allows him to continue. If it appears that they'll run out of lake, she'll take the controls and regain altitude. Not where they'd planned to end up, but this little lagoon's come in very handy. A small hunter's chalet on the shore is an ideal location for a debriefing session.
Okay, everything's off in here. Okay, what you don't want to do is bring up your water rudder. beautiful day, isn't it?
Oh, Lordy.
Okay, now we want to clear this wing, which brings up a lot of,
And it's between
water on the
30
top.
and 40, not below 30 on the step.
on the step.
It feels
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. You have to
Kitty's pleased with John's progress,
Whatever it
but
takes.
knows that he'll require a lot of instruction if he's to pass his test in 2 days' time.
Fine, yeah. We'll just keep an eye on it, and if the wind comes up, we'll get it in a little more sheltered area.
Well, this is a nice spot.
Isn't it beautiful?
And isn't that airplane pretty?
Oh, I like that. Like a little shiny red wagon
So,
on the water.
how am I doing, Captain?
You're doing good. We'll go around, shoot a couple more landings, and actually get the flare down so that you'll be able to fly the water and be able to...
On one of his training flights the next day, John has a chance to experience the work carried out by bush pilots. Pilots like Kitty make it possible for people like this old man to survive in the remote Alaskan wilderness. She provides his only lifeline to civilization.
But I always sang. And then my grandmother gave me a guitar when I was about 12 years old, and pretty soon I started writing songs. And then somehow, one of the things that happened, I think you'd like, is how much nature came through in my music.
Yes. Now, you're kind of environmental-minded, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
So am I.
Yeah, I can tell.
Well, I suppose, you
Guinness.
fellas want to go down fishing, maybe, huh?
You drink Guinness?
Yeah.
I do you?
I do.
Hey,
Now, I prefer...
got a couple of things in common there, John.
fly fishing and Guinness stouts.
You're the one that made the record about Thank God I'm a Country Boy?
Yes, sir.
I remember that, and I really liked that.
Thank you. I didn't write that. That was written by a friend of mine who used to play banjo in my band.
Do you write music?
Yes, sir.
too?
Most of my stuff I write. I'd say about 90% of the songs I do.
I haven't heard that one lately, but I was almost afraid to ask you that in case somebody else sang it, but I had a notion it was you,
Yeah?
and I sure liked it.
That's okay. If I hadn't sung it, I would have appreciated it, whoever it was that did.
Yeah.
Denver's genuine love for the outdoors endears him to this old man. In this environment, there's no distinction between celebrity and hermit, only mutual respect and an enjoyment of the adventure to be found in nature.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one, man.
Big one.
John Denver's been concentrating on landings and takeoffs. They're getting smoother all the time, but he still has Kitty Banner at his side. She won't be with him at the test the next day.
Okay, from a downwind to an upwind.
Downwind to an upwind.
So what would be the best procedure in the event of strong wind?
Well, one is to just let the airplane weathercock into the wind. The other thing is to do a plow turn. I spent
The lessons are over.
summer up here.
Tonight is the time to relax on the final night in Talkeetna.
Barrow and Point Hope and Shishmaref, and another part of it over on Brooks Lake and Brooks Camp and on the Alagnac.
As a tribute to his kind Alaskan friends, John says thank you in the way he knows best. He's composed a special song about this great 49th American state, Alaska.
There are times I fear I lose myself. I don't know who I am. I get caught up in the struggle and the strain. With my back against the stone wall, my finger in the dam.
The next day, in the Federal Aviation Examination, Kitty gives some last words of advice as they prepare the plane.
I understand.
John, would you tell me what the hazards of glassy water are, and what is the proper...
Before the flight test, John must answer a grueling oral examination from a government official.
The lake becomes like a mirror, and there's no depth perception there. You don't know where the level of the lake is. Also, if it's clear, especially clear water, you may be seeing the bottom and not the water level itself.
Full marks so far, but the real test is going to be John's first unaided flight, without Kitty to prompt him. This time, he's on his own. The approach is fine, and he's up with barely a shake. These weather conditions mean low-altitude flying. John's piloting skills have to be sharper than ever. Kitty knows he's doing well, but the landing is the ultimate test for a float plane pilot. It's looking good. And he's made it.
Beautiful! Oh, God, Congratulations.
Thanks.
Looks great.
We did great. There's nothing wild as far.
And now, a celebration flight in a wilderness John Denver's learned to love, Alaska.
Freedom on the run. I can hear her spirit calling me to the mountain. I can rest there to the river. I will be strong to the forest. I'll find peace there to the wild country where I belong. Well, I love it. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
John Denver, qualified float plane pilot. Another of Hillary's adventurers.